Y'all, today we are diving deep into how you can improve your content with 3 simple steps. It's going to make things a lot easier and a heck of a lot more impactful. Are you ready? Let's dig in. Welcome to the Social Takeoff Podcast, a podcast for travel professionals who are ready to use social media to help their business take off. I'm Kelli Hay-Smith, your host. I'm travel agent turned social media marketer who now works with multiple 7-figure travel agencies to help them infuse strategy and create a target social plan. I'll be sharing all of the tips and tricks of the trade, as well as content ideas and trends that you should be using to help grow your travel business. Let's get started. Hey y'all, I am so excited. I am here in Nashville for the Travel Leaders Network Edge Conference with amazing travel professionals from all over the country, and I'm so excited to network and get to know you. If you are here, please, if you see me, come say hi. I would love to meet you, but I want to dive deep, and also I'm getting ready currently for a dinner tonight with a travel supplier and some other agency owners. I'm really excited about it, but if you hear me moving my hands around, it's because I'm putting makeup on to get ready to go. Anyway, y'all, this topic is so important because I think it's something that is so overlooked so often. Really and truly, when it comes to creating content, you hear a lot about making sure that you have a good hook and making sure that you have a call to action. And, both of those things are true, but you also need a couple other things. And by need, I mean, if you want to make content that's impactful, that will make a difference in your business, you've got to have more than just a great hook and call to action. Because if you're relying on a hook and call to action to get your point across, it may get them reading. And without a call to action, you may not get them moving to the next step, but you got to get them wanting to move to the next step. We got to get them understanding what we're doing. And so we're going to talk about 3 things that you need in your content today to help get you to the next place, the next step. Things that are really going to make an impact in your content that's going to help grow your business. So let's dive on in, okay? The first thing I want you to do is I want you to add human element to it. If you are speaking in a way that they feel like is just all professional all the time, it's not an essay. Social media is not an essay. Social media is supposed to be social. You want to be relatable. And I guess if you speak in a very proper tone, maybe that's the case. Maybe I am just me and y'all have listened to me long enough to know that I say things like y'all, just like I just did. Or that I'm a girl. Like you'll see in my social media, I type IMMA for Ima on my content because that's what I say, or wanna or gotta. And I want you to understand that in social media, that's okay. When you are speaking to someone on social media, you want it to sound like you. So the first thing that I want it to say is you want your content to sound like you. And if you're an agency owner and your content is representing more than just yourself, you still want it to sound like there's a human behind it rather than somebody out there writing an essay. You want to put words that people are going to connect with when it comes to feeling you, meaning they feel you because they connect to you because it sounds like them. One of the things I got recently was when we had been DMing back and forth. They had been reading my content and I think listening to the podcast. But then when I started doing an audio message to them, they were like, "I love the fact that you type like you talk." And it's been very important to me to create that honest connection, honest type. And I know for a fact that I connect much quicker to someone whose content, I told you I'm doing my makeup, whose content sounds like them. If it doesn't sound like them, I'm immediately kind of uninterested, I guess. I'm immediately uninterested. I'm immediately scrolling. So having that human element in the way that your content reads, when they read it, they can hear it as a conversation rather than as an essay. When they speak to you, they recognize your voice because you have spoken to them many times, even though it was written. They hear your voice, or if they've heard your voice before and now they're reading your content, they can hear your voice saying it because it sounds like you. Brand voice is definitely words that we use, and that's important. But brand voice is also a style of speaking. It's also a way of communicating. And if you're a mom and you're trying to reach other moms, and say that you plan family travel and you're speaking to other moms who are burnt out and overwhelmed, what would you connect with? Pay attention to the content that you connect with. It doesn't have to be other travel professionals' content. I mean like content from a lifestyle blogger or people like I follow Molly the Mom. She's hilarious. Like, why am I attracted to her content? Because it connects to me. It makes me laugh. And it just really sparks interest in me. What about that does? And how can I be her, but how can I use some of the things that she's doing that attract me to attract my ideal client? Those are the things that you can be asking yourself. So when you are creating content, number one is put the human element behind it and connect in a way that feels relatable and real to someone. On that same note, number two is emotions. And how are they feeling? Not only in a realistic, relatable language, but in a realistic, relatable tone. You need to show that you understand what they're struggling with. You need to show that you understand what is going on in their life. So let's say that you do sell family travel and you speak to moms. Let me ask you a question, moms who are out there listening to me. What's going on in your life right now? Now, if you're like me, there's 150 assemblies. My husband also works as a school administrator. So add even more to that because he's gone. So there's all these school assemblies, right? There's all this stuff going on at kids' schools. End of year. It's all the end of year. I've got to get teachers' gifts and preschool graduation and award ceremonies and picnics and all this stuff has to be done. Guess what? We're stressed out. We're overdone. Our to-do list runneth over. How can you market to that? Well, you can take something off of their list, right? So speak to something that they will understand in this moment. How are they feeling? Overwhelmed. Another emotion that a lot of moms have right now, they're a little nostalgic. They're a little nostalgic because maybe they have a high schooler. I have one of those too, they're starting to realize that there are less and less summers that they're going to have before their kids go off to college. So maybe they're feeling nostalgic. Maybe there's so many things, but you need to speak to their emotions and what they're feeling and how that's another way besides your relatable brand voice that you can connect with them is understanding their emotions. If you are creating content that doesn't include some sort of emotion, you're not connecting with them. The other thing you need to understand is people buy with their feelings. They don't buy with their heads, they buy with their feelings. That's why I spend money at 2 a.m. on Amazon, because I'm feeling some sort of a way at 2 a.m. and I'm on Amazon. Y'all, you have to speak to how they're feeling. When they feel like you hear them, you see them, you're speaking to them, they can hear your voice, you're connecting with them on a way that you never have before. You're not simply planning a vacation or booking vacations. You're planning memories for these families. And in order for you to understand that, in order for them to feel connected to you to do those things, or in order for them to feel comfortable connecting with you with that, they've got to connect to you. They're going to trust someone to plan these precious memories for their families far more if they feel like they're seen, heard, and understood, and they feel like they can relate to you. So those two things are really going to help you relate to them. All right, number 3, last one. This is going to be a short one, but last one. What problem do you solve? Now, I put this on Instagram the other day, and it got a response that I really wasn't expecting, because a lot of people said, I don't really know what problem I solve. I plan vacations, but do I really solve problems? Yes. So there's the practical problems that are being solved, right? There's the practical part of this where it's like, I solve like the overwhelm and the I don't know what to do next. But then there's also the other part of that's not so practical. I help you make amazing memories. You want to have these amazing memories for your family and you're just not sure where to get started? I got you. I'm helping you. So it's very important for you to speak to them in a way of problem solving. They need a solution for a problem, and they may not even know they have this problem. They may think, well, it's a Disney World. How difficult can it be? Well, it's a cruise, right? Like, it's just one thing. How hard can it be? They don't know what problem they have. You need to point it out. So I want you to think about content pieces when it comes to solving problem, and these are just going to be a few ideas. Bonus content ideas for listening to the podcast today. But I want you to think about common things that are overlooked. So think about things that you have heard. And listen, you've either heard it, you've seen it on a Facebook group, you know people who have forgotten to book transfers or things like that. I want you to make a list of 5 of the most common things that you have seen overlooked and forgotten, or mistakes that you have seen clients made, or things that you have fixed. So I want to tell you one. A client of mine recently had friends who did not book their vacation through her, but they were friends. They were going skiing in Switzerland for spring break. And they got to London and the plane would not let them board. The airline would not let them board the plane to Switzerland because their passports were going to expire within the next 90 days. And so they could get to London, but they couldn't get to Switzerland. That's a mistake. So what problem do you solve? You don't allow those problems to come up. With the research, the knowledge, and the training that you have, that's not something that would have slipped through your fingertips. So I want you to create a list of 5 common problems you've seen. If you're struggling to come up with this, I want you to go onto a Facebook group, any type of travel agent Facebook group that you are in, and there are so many of them. Anyone that you are in, jump in there and find some problems. That will give you some idea of what you can talk about. And then I want you to create content. They don't have to all be about the problem, but you need to make your client aware that this could be a problem they could face. They didn't even know this could be a problem, but you're going to let them know that it could be a problem. And those are 3 things: your brand voice, being relatable, and speaking in a manner like you talk, or typing, writing in a way that you talk to help connect and relate. Number 2 was, that's right, speaking to emotions. I'm glad you all answered me. Speaking to your emotions, talking about feelings, understanding where your ideal client is in this season of their life and speaking to that. And number 3, making sure they're aware of the problem and how you solve it. Those are 3 ways that you can really up-level your social media content. Y'all, okay, I've got to go get my eyeliner on and my mascara on so that I can get to my dinner. I look forward to sharing with you all what I've learned here. That might be a fun bonus podcast. I am still working on a bonus podcast of Disney's stuff, Disney's new guidelines. But I'm going to be honest with you, I actually decided to wait to do that because I want to talk to Disney while I'm here. So that's what I'm doing. All right, friends, have a great Tuesday, and I will talk with you soon. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast. Make sure to leave us a review below and come find me on Instagram @Kelli Hay Smith and let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Make sure to check back every Friday for a bonus episode, 5 Things Friday, and every Tuesday for a brand new episode. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast. Make sure to leave us a review below and come find me on Instagram at Kelli Hay Smith and let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Make sure to check back every Friday.